Leave my husband alone, shameless woman. My mother's voice cracked through the still night air like thunder over a quiet river. I jumped awake, my heart pounding. The whole compound was silent, yet her words sounded like a quarrel in the village square. I am Sarah, the eldest child of Robert and Mary. That night, curiosity pulled me from my mat. I crept to the doorway of the sitting room, careful not to breathe too loudly. The kerosene lamp burned weakly on the wooden table, casting long shadows on the wall. My mother's wrapper had come loose around her shoulders, her face was tight with anger, and her hand gripped the phone as if she could crush it. On the other end came a woman's voice, sharp as pepper. Mary, stop deceiving yourself. Robert is not only your husband. He is mine too. And I have his children sleeping under my roof this very night. I pressed a hand to my mouth to stop a gasp. My father? Another wife? Other children? My mother hissed, pacing the room. You lie. Robert would never betray me. He is a good man, a faithful man. You are just a foolish woman trying to scatter my home. The woman's laugh was bitter, mocking. Foolish? Ask him where he goes when he tells you he is traveling for business. Ask him why your money is never enough. Ask him why he disappears on weekends with no explanation. Mary, open your eyes. You are not the only wife. The phone slipped from my mother's hands, hitting the table with a clap. She staggered back into a chair, her chest rising and falling as though she had run a long race. Her voice cracked. No, no, it cannot be. Robert would never. I backed away, slipping silently into the bedroom I shared with my younger siblings, David and Ruth. But sleep did not come. I lay awake, staring at the dark ceiling, my ears still ringing with Grace's words. The next morning, the house felt heavier than ever. My mother cooked, but she did not taste her food. She washed clothes, but her eyes were far away. Even when the neighbors greeted her, her replies were short and dry. Later that afternoon, while Mother was outside pounding yam, I gathered David and Ruth in the corner of our room. Their eyes were wide with questions. Sarah, David whispered, tugging at my arm. Why was Mama shouting in the night? I heard her voice. She was quarreling. Ruth, only 8 years old, hugged her knees. Was Mama fighting with a witch? I hesitated. My chest felt tight. Should I tell them? Would they even understand? But the truth was already seeping into the cracks of our home. It was not a witch, I said softly, looking from one face to the other. Mama was speaking to a woman on the phone, a woman who says she is also married to Papa. David's jaw dropped. Another wife? But Papa is Mama's husband. How can he belong to another woman too? I sighed. That is what Mama is trying to understand. The woman said she has children with him. Ruth's lips trembled. Does that mean we have other brothers and sisters? We sat in silence for a long moment. The yam pounding outside echoed like a drumbeat of sorrow. Finally, David clenched his fists. If it is true, then Papa has betrayed Mama. And if it is a lie, then that woman is wicked. Either way, things will never be the same. I reached for his hand. We must be strong. Mama will need us. For days, the tension grew. My mother said little, her eyes heavy with suspicion. My siblings tiptoed around her, as though any noise might break her completely. Then, on the 4th day, my father returned. The evening sun glowed orange when the squeak of his bicycle broke the silence. He entered the compound whistling, swinging a bag of roasted groundnuts. His smile was wide, his eyes bright, as if the world carried no troubles. Mary, my sweet wife, he called. Children, come and greet your father. I have missed you all. But none of us moved. My siblings clung to me, their small hands gripping mine. My mother stood at the doorway, her wrapper tied firmly, her face as calm as a still river but her eyes burning like fire. Robert, she said, her voice low, steady, and cold, we need to talk. The bag of groundnuts slipped from his hands, scattering across the ground. And that was the night the truth began to unravel. The groundnuts scattered across the dusty compound like broken promises. My father's smile faded as quickly as smoke in the wind. His eyes shifted from my mother's face to mine, then to David and Ruth huddled behind me. "Mary," he began, forcing a laugh that did not reach his eyes, "what kind of greeting is this? Is this how a man is welcomed after days of hard work?" My mother did not flinch. She stepped forward, her arms folded tightly across her chest. "Robert, enough with your smooth tongue. We need to talk, now." Her tone was flat, deadly, the kind of tone that made even a proud man's knees weak. Robert shifted uncomfortably, scratching his head. "Can it not wait until I wash and eat? I am tired." "No," she snapped, her voice slicing through the evening air. "It cannot wait. Sit down." Reluctantly, he lowered himself onto the wooden bench by the doorway, the bag of roasted groundnuts forgotten at his feet. I held my siblings close, my heart pounding like a drum. My mother's voice was steady, but her eyes blazed. "Robert, I received a call. A call from a woman named Grace. She says she is your wife. She says she has children for you. Is it true?" Robert's eyes widened, but only for a moment. He quickly forced another laugh, shaking his head. "Mary, you know people are wicked. Anyone can pick a phone and say anything. Do you not know there are women who want to scatter homes? Ignore her lies." But my mother leaned closer, her voice sharp. "Lies? Then tell me where you go when you say you are traveling for business. Tell me why your money is always divided. Tell me why your weekends vanish into thin air." His smile faltered. He rubbed his palms together nervously. "Business is not easy, my wife. You would not understand. I travel because I want to provide for you and the children. And about money," he trailed off, avoiding her eyes. "Robert," my mother thundered, her wrapper swishing as she rose to her feet. "Do not treat me like a fool. If there is another family, say it with your mouth. If there is another woman, let me hear it from you." The silence was heavy. Even the evening birds seemed to stop their chirping. Robert's lips parted, but no sound came out. He looked down at the ground, tracing patterns in the dust with his toes. At last, he muttered, "Mary, you are the only one. I swear." But the crack in his voice betrayed him. That night, my mother cooked but did not eat. She set the table, but her eyes stayed on Robert like a hawk watching prey. My siblings and I sat quietly, each bite of yam heavy in our mouths. Robert tried to act normal. He cracked jokes. He asked us about school. He told a story about a man in the next village who lost his goat. His laughter was forced, loud, and hollow. But my mother remained silent. Her silence was sharper than any insult. I knew in my heart that the truth was crouching somewhere, waiting to leap out. It happened so suddenly. My father reached over to pat David's head, smiling. "Ah, David," he chuckled, "you remind me so much of your brother Michael when he was your age." The room froze. David blinked in confusion. "But Papa, I don't have a brother called Michael." My spoon clattered against my bowl. Ruth stared at me with wide eyes. My mother's head jerked up, her eyes narrowing. Her voice was low, dangerous. "Robert, who is Michael?" For the first time, my father's mask shattered. His mouth opened, closed, opened again. He stammered, I meant your cousin Michael, yes, your cousin." But my mother slammed her fist against the table so hard the plates rattled. "Do not lie to me again. Who is Michael?" Robert's shoulders slumped. His lips trembled. The truth spilled from him like water from a broken pot. He is my son. Grace's son." My mother's scream tore through the night. She rose to her feet, her chair falling back. "So it is true. All of it, true. You have another family, another wife, and you have been lying to me all these years. Robert buried his face in his hands. Mary, please, forgive me. I did not want to hurt you. I thought I could manage both homes. I thought. Manage, she spat. You thought you could plant seeds in 2 farms and none would grow wild? Robert, you have destroyed everything. That night, my mother did not sleep. She moved through the house like a storm, pulling clothes from boxes, folding them into bags. Her face was set like stone. Children, she said, her voice firm, we are leaving. A man who builds his home on lies cannot shelter us. Where will we go, Mama? Ruth asked, tears brimming in her eyes. To where peace lives, my mother answered, tying her wrapper tighter. I would rather live in a small hut filled with truth than in a mansion built on deceit. I looked at my father one last time. He sat on the bench outside, his head in his hands, weeping silently. The man who once seemed strong now looked small, broken by his own lies. As we walked out of the compound under the watchful eyes of the stars, I knew we were leaving behind not just a house, but a chapter of our lives. In the village, the elders say, a man may hide his footsteps in the sand, but when the wind blows, the truth will be revealed. And so it was with my father. For no matter how long lies dance in the dark, the truth will always find the light.